Hi folks. I hope the video is adequately clear. So here's a flower I painted. Apologize for the sound and the noise. Everything's noisy. So today I was walking through the garden when I found this purple flower. It is so pretty. I haven't figured out its name. And after I painted it, I thought maybe I could paint another. There's so much in the garden that I can paint, honestly. But I thought maybe I could try something like this, which is the buttercup. If you've seen the picture of the buttercup I shared, it's a very rather plain flower, but on a tree. I should show this to you in the garden. It is so pretty when there's so many on the tree. So we could consider painting a buttercup, or so just so you know, this is the same flower I was talking about. Isn't this pretty? Just look at it. So the choice is a buttercup or this coleus, I believe that's what it's called, which is leaf, actually, not a flower, just a very pretty leaf. Oh, is it? Clitoria. Interesting. Very nice. Thank you. That is information I did not have before. Alright, so that's a clitoria flower. And then there is this coleus, as I said. We could try this. This is, I mean, I don't know what is simple. Don't suppose. And then there's this money plant, rather regular money plant, which is I like for the fact that it has those these colors that are just, they're so watercolor friendly. That's what I love about them. So even a leaf like this is so pretty to paint. Okay, so what shall we do? Anybody has a choice? Oh, there's also the dianthus. The dianthus leaf. The dianthus leaf is so pretty. Not leaf, sorry, flower. The dianthus flower is so pretty. It looks like pencil shavings put together into a pretty flower. I find it really intriguing, that flower. Where is the dianthus? Got to go check my stories. The dianthus is, here you go. So just look at that. There's a pot of this right in front of our house, and I mean, really, pencil shavings. There's no other way to describe it. Very pretty, right? So shall we do this? Anybody wants to recommend a coleus leaf, or money plant leaf, or flowers? Our two options are buttercup and dianthus. Shall we do buttercup? Buttercup then. Let's try buttercup. And if we have time, we can probably go on to other things as well. Let's get on to the buttercup. Alright, so where is it? Let me get my reference out here. Okay. There you go. So let's try this buttercup. Just the two flowers. All of it is yellow. I'm going to be using lemon yellow and gamboge from this set over here, which is the camel set. of colors. Let's give it a try. All right. All right. So to get my estimates. So this flower, both these flowers are not facing directly upward. In fact, most of it is downward, both these flowers. Okay, so let's see how that goes. Maybe while we're waiting between layers to dry, we can go check out the buttercup in the garden. They're abundant, and the bright color just, it livens the garden instantly. It's like a lot of these leaves and flowers are fighting for prominence in the garden. That's what it looks like to me. Can't be sure which leaf or flower is feeling threatened by the other. Alright, then we have this overlapping petal, and I'm going to keep it overlapping. There's a charm about it. It just looks nice. A little bit out of my if you need the reference, please just look at my stories. It should be there. Maybe not the exact same picture that I'm referencing, but similar one. So this is important when we're drawing this flower. What is important is this curve, especially for when we don't have a flower that's facing upward. The key here is to have this curve where the shade darkens, and without that, all of it is quite the same yellow. This curve here, that's really important. Same here, right? So downward facing is not bad, because when you do that, you actually get that curve, which makes a difference. So in our case here, this is where the curve is, and it's important to understand that the lines that you're going to see and the lines you're going to make with your brush strokes have to also follow the lines you see on the flower itself. So this is it's radiating outward. Same way here. So you have something like this going into almost into the petal here, yeah, and turning a bit here. That kind of gives it the feeling that leaf, that petal has turned. Alright, so then you have the stems, connecting stems. So again, proportionately, this is where it would come, right, from the center backward. And then we can draw probably the bud. I have a bud here of another flower that's going to be a flower soon, a bud, and maybe one more. There's one more sticking out here, which is bigger, a bigger bud. Okay, it's hiding behind the flower. And we don't need to draw everything that we see, so just have to be smart about what we are drawing or painting, whatever. Alright, so I'm going to leave out the buds on top, and I'm going to just there's one here and there's one here, and I'm not doing those. I'm going to start drawing the leaves, and there's a lovely leaf that comes out here. Again, a bent leaf, so we have something flat and wide, yeah. Then we have a leaf here, rather thin leaves this plant has, okay. And So there's a stalk here and a leaf. So this is the stalk of the plant on which from which these flowers are coming out. Okay, another leaf here, sideways a bit, and then there's these new leaves that are coming out right at the tip. Okay, by the side of that we have one going outward this way, almost pointy, one downward. So this kind of covers up this area for us. Okay, I'm not going into a lot of detail because then we'll have to end up coloring so much. I'm going to stop at this point. Oh, sorry about the noise in the background. Kids on a holiday are usually very loud. Okay, let's keep it this way. I'm not sure if you all can see this, but and the light is going out slowly. I should start a live earlier. Earlier in the evening. Starting off with what shade is this? Lemon yellow. I haven't painted this before, so disclaimer alert. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. I'm always not sure how it's going to turn out, so what's the worst that can happen? The live won't get saved. And no one's the wiser. Alright. Now I find a little bit of green can be dabbed in here. Just a slight bit, because this wash is going to get really light. It is going to get really light. Now in the next leaf I'm going to be putting lemon yellow and gamboge, a little bit of gamboge, because it's getting a little brighter. Now here, okay, before I do that, let's do lemon yellow first, base of lemon yellow, because I have a turned leaf at this point. Okay, right here there's a small turn, and that turn has to be light colored, so I need this base coat of lemon yellow. So let's put the base coat, and then we have this one here. As we come to the lower leaves, I'm going to start mixing gamboge into the... In fact, I'm going to take a little gamboge alone and put it here. I've got to be careful because the earlier yellow is still wet. I don't want it to go into the leaf before. Yeah, this is gamboge. Okay. Alright, I'm going to leave this. Let's get on to the next one. Same thing. I think my first wash is really light. A little too light. Which is usually the case because we hesitate, right? We hesitate. We think a little less paint means... Hi Varsha! A little less paint means the mistake could be a little less as well, right? Logical. Most logical. Yeah, that doesn't happen. If it's a mistake, it's a mistake. It's not going to be better because there's a little less paint to it. Also, what is a mistake? Philosophically speaking. My yellow is getting very light, ridiculously light. And my washes after this are going to need to get darker. Okay, base coat done. Now we go on to the leaves. Base coat for the leaves. Oh, before the leaves, we have the buds. The buds are not really yellow, so they're already orangish, a bit orange. So I'm going to start with the gamboge base for the buds. Very carefully around this now. This is one bud, and the other bud is here. Yeah, and the stalk is also a little bit gamboge, not yellow, bright, not a lemon yellow. Then we get on to about leaves. Now this is something I find very amusing, but a nice thing to do with leaves is actually apply, especially bright green leaves. I mean, I'm talking about the kind that are bordering on a little yellow. It's nice to actually put that yellow in up front, you know. So don't be very particular about where you put the yellow. The whole intent is that we don't want the leaf to be yellow. We want it to be green. But by applying directly this bit of sap green, you get a very what do you call it? You get a color that is rather something about the depth of the color is very not there, if you know what I mean. There is no depth to that leaf, so I like a little bit of yellows appearing at the corner of a leaf, and it just gives it a very organic look, you know. Okay, then we have, so this is sap green for those of you who are who would like to know. Sap green, but first I applied a little bit of yellow, and I am retaining that yellow at places so that the leaf does not look fully green. I did it with the other other flower I painted too. A little bit of yellow, just a hint. Followed, and it just so happens that lemon yellow is it tends to green. It naturally tends to green, right? And with green, it almost becomes fluorescent. I don't like it in other settings for that very same reason, that the fluorescent color is not appealing to me. But for foliage, especially tropical foliage, it's amazing. It's a lovely, lovely color. Not for a shirt. Definitely not for a shirt that I'd wear. Sap green, lemon yellow, just too bright. Alright, so we've gotten the green. So base colors are pretty much done. Now, what we're going to do next is go back to the flower, and this time I'm going to work with gamboge. Alright, but a light gamboge. So our first layer is done. With this gamboge, I come in here. This is where I come in with the gamboge, because I'm trying to get deep. So gamboge and maybe even a little bit of yellow ochre will work over here. Okay, and then I will go back to a little lemon yellow, mix it with the gamboge. This is just to make sure that the gamboge is not too orange, and then I do these lines. Okay, and these are the lines that I was talking about. You need to make them radiate outward. The direction is very, very important. Okay, now at the moment it's looking a little stark, so what we're going to do is rinse off, and with a wet brush just dab these ends. Okay, so we don't want them sticking out towards nothing. That's where the ends can become a little bit brighter yellow, but those lines have to be seen. Next, we will get to a little watery wash of gamboge and try and do the same gamboge and this thing, but not as watery as the first wash. Okay, so I'm going to put it here, and this leaf is bent. So remember I told you I wanted an edge over here. There. So this is the edge I was talking about. I'm going to make it a little darker. So this bit over here is slightly folded and I want to show the fold. Okay, I come up till here, then I rinse off my brush and I only blend it in here. Same thing for the other end. Deeper gamboge at this part, gamboge lemon yellow here. And then rinse off the brush and just blend it in. The reason being, we don't want those lines that you see here on either of these leaves. Yeah. Okay, one more round of gamboge in. But now we can't make it as dark as we made the center, so just be mindful of that. It can't be as dark as the center because then this line will go off and we want that line, right? We'll go in with a little more detail next time around. Same thing, deep gamboge in the center of this one. A little bit into this petal as well, but mostly here. Bringing in some lemon yellow. Just for the edges, lemon yellow. Just to get that harshness out, you know, sometimes the lines are just a bit harsh. Okay, so here we don't really have a folded petal, so I'm going to just oh, too dark. Little more lemon yellow, wash. Yes. And here what I notice is there's a slight dark depression here, so I'm going to just put in that depression bit with a darker color and then plain wet brush just blend it in. Same way, slight depression here. My colors are almost you can't really see the difference, can you? Oops. Okay, alright. Brush is a bit too big, so let me get the smaller brush. Onto the leaves, and this time sap green and I'm not sure what green this is. Sap green and hooker's green. Ah, yeah, hooker's green. I love hooker's green. I mean, it's a recent discovery. I did not know it was so pretty, but it makes for excellent garden colors, you know, tropical, dark, deep green, hooker's green. So hooker's green and sap green together can make some awesome foliage. Blend and use as you need. The center petal, center line can be left as is, just to indicate that there is a center there. See that line in the vein in the center. Then we can have, okay, so these are slightly darker leaves simply because they're not new leaves, or they were new leaves long back. So your newer leaves have to be light and your older leaves are darker. Sometimes I like to do this, but not always. That is show the veins in between, you know, so something like this, but not always. Reason being, it can get it can get little what do you say, what is the word for it, predictable if you start drawing lines that are evenly spaced and things like that, and leaves are not predictable. I mean, you don't want that organic look to go off. So this is one leaf that's below. I can darken this leaf. I actually might just darken this leaf because, again, leaf that is below has come earlier and is an older leaf, right? So it's fine being a little dark. And then there's this leaf, also an older leaf. Blend sap green as well at times. Don't just use one color. And that center vein, if you can maintain it, maintain it. If your leaf darkens at a point where it merges here with another leaf, it kind of stands out, makes the leaf stand out. So you can see where one leaf ends and the next starts. Keeping the yellowish green look on these leaves, I'm just going to give a slight hint of a shape. That's it, nothing more. Leaf at the back, again not very dark green, but enough to Alright, one last leaf. Let's just bring this in. Okay. Finally, back to the flower. Oh, actually, the buds. The buds need a little attention. And now I'm going to try a little bit of gamboge with Indian yellow. It's there on my. You can check it out. Gamboge with a little Indian yellow. Bring out this curve. Alright, and then go back with a little lemon yellow and draw it out. So when you use lemon yellow, it lightens the color, but at the same time it drags out the deeper shade. A hint of shading on the leaf, just because I want this part to be wet and much. Hint of green because I see it. Wet and blend. I'm going to deepen the orange on the other side, in the center, not as much. And because this is not orange, this is gamboge, I'm just pulling gamboge out the way it is. I don't need lemon yellow for it. Lemon yellow and green, just a hint on this side and this side, because there seems to be a bend. Blend it in. Oops. Oops, sorry about that. Just a little bit at these corners. Okay, I'm losing the light of the day. Okay, orange and gamboge and see for these ones. These buds. I'll deepen it a bit by putting a dot of orange. So the stems are also not yellow exactly, they're a little orangish. Connecting the flower, that is. Then we'll do the same thing for the bud here. And here slightly deeper at this point, because okay, so that's looking okay. I suppose the fine bit is the dark colors. So I'm going to put a little bit of dark green here and give this a bit of shade. So this is like a turned leaf right here, because the bottom of the leaf is dark. Okay, and then there's this leaf that can have a few veins and darkness. Lighten that same color and put a hint of a color here. It is going to, this is looking dark, but it's actually going to dry off lighter. Okay, so and that's about it. I think very close to the end. Not looking as vibrant as I expected, but hey, it's supposed to be natural, right? Bit like negative painting here, because you're trying to get that fresh leaf to appear like it's young. I'm gonna go back in here, lemon yellow, gamboge, and just like a bit of an outline, but not an outline. I don't know how to. Now going in with the Indian yellow. Rigger brush, by the way. The fine lines of a rigger, nothing else can get really. Bit too dark. Alright, that's it, and that's the light is really poor. I should probably put the light. Thank you, Farah. I will post a picture of this in brighter light. I'm sitting outside and it's already evening out here, so let's see. In the meanwhile, I am going to also be doing a live tomorrow, most likely, and I will do something that is I'm thinking of doing a fall scene. I've had a lot of picture references that a friend of mine have shared with us of fall in Canada, and I was thinking that's something we should do. So a fall painting maybe tomorrow. I'll try and put the reference up on my stories, and then we can just try it out while we end this live with that ridiculous sound in the background. Thanks everyone for joining in. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.